Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. It's a really hot one here in the UK. It's currently 20 to 7 p.m. for me, and it's just about cooling down a little bit, but it's been like 32 degrees C, which I believe is about 90 Fahrenheit this afternoon. So it's hot, hot, hot. So we're here today to hear an update, a press conference. I'm hoping it's going to be a significant update. I can't even begin to guess on what this press conference is about. But while we wait, and I'm going to be, it's going live at 7 my time, the press conference. That's 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be streaming it from WFLA Now. I've got that up in the background. So as soon as the press conference starts, I'll pop that on. Thanks for joining me. I know a lot of people are streaming at the moment. Yeah, thank you for choosing my channel. Oops, dropping things off my desk already. Thanks for choosing my channel to come and hang out. Even though a lot of people are streaming, I wanted to record my thoughts directly after the press conference and just have a discussion, and we'll see what they say. So there's no plan for this stream at all, other than listening to the conference and digesting it, to be honest. So we've got a few people in already. Hi, Connie. Hi, Dragonfly Lady. Laurie says, hold my seat. Hope it's not a heavy seat, because I've been holding it a while. Good to have you here, Laurie. Maltese Cross, hi. Donna, hi. Yes, I do. I do cover a lot of cases. I do. I'm probably more varied over on this channel, Michelle Walks, than I am on Michelle After Dark, where I tend to do more kind of in-depth, deep dives. But at the moment on Michelle After Dark, I'm covering the Kylie Rodney case, the 16-year-old girl who's been missing now. We're into the 6th day of her being missing from Truckee in Northern California. I know a lot of channels are picking up on that now. There's some really interesting and concerning information coming out about the disappearance of Kylie Rodney. So I'll be sticking on that for a while. Of course, never going to forget Summer Wells, but Summer is, there's nothing really going on in her case at the moment. As soon as anything happens, I'll be back on it. I'll probably be back on Summer in a few days anyway. I like to split my time a little bit, but at the moment, I think Kylie Rodney is a very pressing case that it's concerning me, but we're not here for Kylie. We're here today for Harmony Montgomery. Cecile, making it live. Very good, very good. Sister Mercy, hi. Maria, hi. Sweet D, Purple AJ, early for once. Well done. Tell through the looking glass. No, Teffy through the looking glass. Once again, I've not got my glasses on. True Crime Utah, hi. True Crime Utah has done some great work following the Dylan Rouse case and going to the court hearings of Jim Brenner and Chase Venstra. So go and check out her channel. I don't know whether we're going to have an announcement of an arrest. I've no idea. No idea. I don't want to even try to guess it, to be honest. Hi, Ray, Mississippi Girl. Good to have you here. Mamma Mia. Who else have we got in? Got a few. Summer Dawn. I see you. Hi, see you. Good to have you here. Amy, Suzanne, Jean, Sally, Louise, Firstly Angel, Shannon's Copper, Little Dove, Twiggy, Dahlia, Lady Di. Lots and lots of people coming in. Hello, everyone. So just a quick kind of update really on the timeline. So if you've been following this case since Harmony first went missing, she was reported missing in December of last year, but she'd actually not been seen for over 2 years. So the just the situation, how a little girl at the age of 5, you know, she will be 8 now, at the age of 5 can just go missing and nobody know. Nobody know. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And so, you know, this took on a life of its own, to be honest. And a lot of channels have covered it. Adam Montgomery, Harmony's father, who is an alarming character, how he was granted custody of Harmony beggars belief. And back in June, when I did the last update on Harmony, it was when I'll just flick through my live here. It was when the that's me. It's gonna take me. It's taking me through ads. Oh dear God. Okay, but anyway, it was June. I don't need that. It was June, and I believe it was June 15th. It was the 1 year marker of Summer's disappearance, when the apartment that the Montgomerys last lived in was, well, lots of things were taken out, lots of, you know, evidence bags, a fridge was taken out. It was insane. And, you know, I came live kind of almost expecting there to be an announcement that day, but knowing deep down there probably wasn't going to be. But I was hoping that they'd find something. But it's almost 2 months since. So this is the first update we've had from law enforcement on what they potentially found, or I have no idea. Really don't know. No idea. So we're just waiting now, waiting for the press conference. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she does. Crystal, sorry. I'm sure she does. But I mean, she was quite outspoken, saying that she tried to raise, you know, that Harmony was missing. She tried to raise that. But I don't know how hard she tried, to be honest. You know, it's easy to sit on the sidelines and say, you should have done more. But when a little girl that young has not been seen by anyone for 2 years, it's alarming. It's very concerning. But here we are, and that's the situation we're in. You know, people blame COVID and, you know, schools being out and so on, but I don't know whether that was anything to do with COVID, to be honest. Oh, my son's just going out. Are you going out now? Subway. Oh, Subway. Subway's here. Oh, yeah. My son's going out soon, so hopefully he'll be gone within the next 15, 20 minutes. And I get my internet. I don't think he's actually on the internet at the moment, so I think that's why we're running okay. What would you like me to play? Put mine in the fridge, please.
Do these know you're vegan?
Yeah.
Your chicken tikka Subway?
It's not a chicken tikka Subway. Oh, he's winding everyone up. Yes, I'm vegan. I don't eat chicken tikka. Dear me. Dear me. Exactly. Maltese Cross. Scream from the rooftops to raise the alarm. You know, even if you've been, you know, denied custody of your child, wouldn't you want to have regular contact with that child? And if you weren't having contact with that child, isn't that a problem? And this gone on for 2 years, that is a problem. In anybody's book, addiction or anything, I don't care, that is a problem in anybody's book. But it's heartbreaking because Harmony has a little brother who was taken into foster care, and has since been adopted by a really nice family, and that little boy will go on to have, you know, a really nice life. And they wanted Harmony as well, but because Harmony had a dad who was there, then custody was given to him. And you know, he went in he was put in jail quite, I can't remember the dates, but quite soon after Harmony was announced missing. He was jailed for abuse of Harmony, not directly to do with her disappearance, but family members of him claiming that they'd seen him abuse Harmony. Well, why didn't they speak out? Or did they speak out? You know, as this little girl been failed by every single person involved, not just her family, but the courts, the judge who made that decision, anybody that family members have raised concerns to. You know, I'm not convinced that anybody has really shouted from the rooftops that Harmony's life was in danger. I know, terrible. Yeah. He's going on holiday again in 11 days' time. I've got another week of the internet to myself. So I'll do a few live streams during that week and make the most of it. It's all too little too late. And that's why I'm hoping that today, this is the first step for real justice, you know, real justice for Harmony Montgomery. Now I want a Subway. It's good, isn't it? I love Subway. Everybody failed her. Everybody failed her. My son's a grown man, to be honest. He's a grown man. He's nearly 20. Yeah, we don't spend a great deal of time together. We share a house and he winds me up. It just seemed that nobody was on Harmony's side. Nobody was really listening to what Harmony needed. And it's the heartbreak. I mean, it's bad enough. It's bad enough that a little girl goes missing for 2 years and nobody appears to notice or doesn't shout loudly enough for it to be noticed. But to add insult to injury, the fact that Harmony could be alive and well and living in a family environment with her brother breaks my heart. Why it was decided that she should stay with her dad and not stay with her brother. You know, I know that they want to keep kids with families, and I understand that, but she'd have been kept with family if she'd have gone to live with her brother. And that little boy has got to live with that. You know, he'll go on to have, you know, everything, all his needs, everything met, a really nice family that he lives with. But he knows that he had a sister. And when he's old enough, he's only a little boy at the moment, but when he's old enough to go online and look up his sister and look up how she was failed, it breaks my heart for that little boy. It really does. It really does. I don't know, to be honest. The mother was allowed contact. She was denied custody, but she was allowed contact with Harmony. I know. And that's why I don't want to sound too harsh towards Crystal, that she's got to live with this as well. And I can't imagine. I can't imagine the regrets that she's got. And I know she had addiction problems, but at the same time, you know, however much sympathy I've got with Crystal's situation now, there was still a little girl at the heart of this. And I don't know. I can't reconcile that. I just can't reconcile that. Yeah, I've followed the case. I followed the case since she went missing. I've not made many videos on Harmony, but you see, not a lot happened for such a long time, you know, because Adam was in jail. His wife, Harmony's stepmother, was also in jail, and then she was released, and then she was jailed again, blah, blah, blah. There's not really an awful lot to report on, to be honest, other than, yeah, they're still in jail. But yeah, hopefully today is going to be a day where we begin justice. We see some real justice for Harmony Montgomery. I'm going to put the stream on here just so that I know that it's on. Oh, people coming in. Right, I'm gonna put this on now, and I'll make it full screen because they're coming in. Can you just let me know that the sound is okay, whether there's an echo or whether I need to go out and come back in, you know, that kind of thing. Let's just do a quick sound check. Okay.
It'd be nice to see this one actually start on time. Looks like they're in a good position to do so.
Again, as a reminder, the very latest on this story on WFLA.com, WFLA app. We're streaming the press conference. WFLA.com, WFLA app.
Anybody carrying it live, you're going to hear from the Attorney General for the state of New Hampshire and the Chief of Police for Manchester. Both will be delivering update statements at this stage in the case. They just are not available as far as Q&A. So again, 201.
There you go. 201. They're going to start. Going to hear from the police chief of Manchester, and I believe he said, I don't know who he said the first person was.
About to launch here on Facebook Live as well.
Attorney General.
Attorney General, yeah, and Chief of Police for Manchester, New Hampshire, who we have heard from in previous press conferences. Yeah, Alan Aldenberg is the the police chief in Manchester, New Hampshire. A lot of the stations from this is a story that local stations across New England have been covering, especially out of Boston. A lot of folks wanting to know what happened to Harmony Montgomery. Again, for those of you joining us on YouTube Live, JB Buno, Josh Benson here with you live on WFLA Now. Carrying this press conference out of Manchester, New Hampshire. We're moments away from this 2 o'clock press conference, expected to learn a significant update in the Harmony Montgomery missing child investigation. Harmony not seen since October of 2019, 2.5 years ago. Really coming up on 3 years missing, but reported missing 2 years, 2 months after she was last seen in December of 2021, this past December. And of course, in January, it made national news very quickly.
So as far as we know, in terms of people of interest in this case, obviously the mom was working with authorities and reached out to the mayor to try to get help to find her daughter. She claimed or admitted to problems with substance abuse prior to. So as you know, she's cooperating as far as we understand. Adam Montgomery has been arrested, charged with second-degree assault and a number of weapons charges, as far as I understand. So he's sitting in jail, and his the mother-in-law Kayla is what was charged, I believe, with perjury, among other things, using food stamps. But she was released. It was later dropped. I'm sorry, that charge was dropped, and a new felony, a charge of theft, was filed. That was in January of this year. So those are the three people that we know of in this case directly, and if any of them will be brought up in this news conference, that'll be interesting to see what direction they head, if at all, since we really don't know what they're going to say here. But we should find out in the next minute or two.
And really, if whether or not any of the evidence collected in June from the home that Harmony was known to reside in,
right,
whether or not there's
Has any
any
bearing.
forensics, has pointed police in this direction.
Mhm.
Of course, there's been a lot of conversation online as to when those forensic results were going to come back. All the information that we're trying to get our hands on, hopefully we will get in this press conference. Members of the media, hopefully will also get an opportunity for a little Q&A to ask police and officials here at the Attorney General some questions, because clearly no matter how much information we get here, there are going to be follow-up questions. So hopefully they are able to answer some for us. Again, this is live on WFLA.com, the WFLA app, YouTube Live, and we are moments away from launching on Facebook.
Good afternoon. I'm Attorney General John Formella, and I'm joined today by Manchester Police Chief Alan Aldenberg. We're here today to provide an update regarding the ongoing investigation into the 2019 disappearance of Harmony Montgomery. Back in January, we announced that then 5-year-old Harmony likely disappeared sometime between November 28th and December 10th of 2019. Since that announcement, members of my office, members of the Manchester Police Department, the U.S. Marshal Service, the FBI, and other law enforcement partners have been diligently continuing to work this case. In total, these agencies working together have devoted thousands of hours gathering evidence and pursuing numerous leads. All of these efforts have led us to conclude that Harmony Montgomery was murdered in Manchester in early December of 2019. At this point, while Harmony's remains have not yet been located, we do have multiple sources of investigative information, including just recently confirmed biological evidence that have led us to this difficult and tragic conclusion. As a result, today I am announcing that this is now officially a homicide investigation, and that our investigators will continue to seek justice and look into the circumstances of Harmony's murder and search for her remains. We understand that this is truly devastating news for Harmony's family, friends, and loved ones, and our hearts go out to them. This is also devastating news for the city of Manchester, for our state, and all who have followed this story. Our work now turns to getting justice for Harmony and all those who loved her. In a moment, I'm going to turn it over to Manchester Police Chief Alan Aldenberg, but before I do, I just want to acknowledge the tireless work that the Manchester Police Department has put into this difficult and truly heartbreaking case. We have much work left to do, but I think everyone would join me in thanking the chief and his team for their efforts thus far. I also want to acknowledge the work of Senior Assistant Attorney General Jesse O'Neill from my office, who is here today. He's worked closely with Chief Aldenberg, the Manchester Police Department, and all of our law enforcement partners in this investigation. And there is much work left to come. Chief.
Thank you, General. Good afternoon. As the Chief of Police for the City of Manchester, I'm beyond saddened that we stand here today to announce that the disappearance of Harmony Montgomery is now officially a homicide investigation. As I stated from the beginning of this investigation and throughout, every effort has been made to bring Harmony home to her family. Our commitment to bringing Harmony home has not wavered, nor will it. Bringing Harmony home will continue to be the #1 priority of the Manchester Police Department. I want to take a moment to publicly thank the Manchester Police Department detectives and New Hampshire Attorney General's office for their steadfast commitment and dedication to this investigation. There have been many detectives assigned to this investigation, and I'm grateful to all of them. But I want to specifically recognize Captain Sean Layton, Captain Matt LaRochelle, Sergeant Jamie Cavari, who could not be here today, Detective Jack Dunleavy, Detective Scott Riley, and Detective Max Rahill, as well as Deputy U.S. Marshal Billy Tufts, who's here as well. I thank all of them for their tireless work thus far in this investigation. I am grateful for the compassion and dedication that they've given to this investigation over the past 8 months. They've experienced many ups and downs, many moments of frustration and sadness along the way, but they've remained focused and remained undeterred as they enter the next phase of this investigation. I feel it's important to recognize these true professionals, as their job is an extremely difficult one. It is even more difficult when investigating the homicide of a sweet and innocent 8-year-old girl. It is equally important for me to recognize the professionalism and commitment of Senior Assistant Attorney General Jesse O'Neill. Attorney O'Neill has been part of this investigation from day one, and he has not wavered one bit. I am personally grateful to Attorney O'Neill for the guidance and counsel he has provided me along the way. He is a consummate professional, and the state of New Hampshire should be thankful for having such an individual seeking justice for Harmony. So thank you, Jesse. It is not often that a public official takes a moment to thank the media, but I feel it's important to do so. I specifically want to extend my gratitude to WMUR and Fox Boston for continuously keeping Harmony's story at the forefront. Both outlets and many others did so with compassion and professionalism, and for that I say thank you. I know that over the past 8 months that there have been many discussions, speculation, and questions relative to where the system failed Harmony. And I myself continue to share the same concerns and still have many remaining questions. However, the homicide of this little girl rests with the person or persons who committed this horrific act. The Manchester Police Department will do everything within the limits of the law to ensure that the responsible person or persons for the murder of Harmony are brought to justice. As always, I encourage members of the public to continue to use the dedicated tip line should they have any information at all that would assist us in locating Harmony, or any information that they feel is relevant to this investigation. The dedicated tip line has, the dedicated tip line number is 603-203-6060. Again, that number is 603-203-6060. As I said from the beginning, I maintain the stance that there are people out there in the community that have information about this investigation who have yet to come forward. If you are that person, pay attention to me carefully. If you are that person, I implore you to do so now and come forward. I'm not asking you to do it for me, for the people in this room, the people that have been working this investigation. Do it for this little girl who's on the screen. The time is now. Time to step up and do the right thing. Make the call to that tip line or contact the Manchester Police Department any way you see fit. Harmony is a sweet and innocent child who deserves to be brought home to her family and friends. Thank you. General?
Thank you, Chief. Thank you again to your department, your team, and all of our law enforcement partners for their assistance in this investigation. Before we close, I just want to take one more opportunity to express my deepest sympathies to Harmony's family, friends, and loved ones. But cases like this that involve young children and young girls like this are especially difficult. We have a lot of work ahead.
experiencing some signal breakup from Manchester, New Hampshire.
Thank you all for being here today.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
Harmony Montgomery murdered in 2019. That's the announcement from Manchester police and law enforcement officials, pleading with the public, saying that if there is, and they believe that there is, anyone with information on Harmony Montgomery's murder, her homicide, to contact police at their 24-hour tip line, 603-203-6060. JB, Josh here with you live.
Okay, guys. Well. Lot to digest there. Not unsurprising, in my opinion, that they've declared this a homicide investigation. Clearly, back in June, when they went to that apartment and took a whole lot of things out of there, including that fridge. I can't get over that fridge. They took some flooring up. They really, I wouldn't say they gutted the apartment. I can't say that, but, you know, now they're saying that there's evidence of biological evidence there. So reading between the lines, and this is just my opinion based on what has been said, that they've declared this a homicide investigation because they found evidence, biological evidence, that Harmony was deceased in that apartment. That is just my opinion. That's not what they said. I'm just reading between the lines. But they've declared this for a reason. They've declared this a homicide investigation for a reason after 8 months of Harmony being missing. And in my experience and opinion, they won't do that lightly. They won't do that unless they can back up that claim with something. And I think that they've got the results of whatever tests they've done. You know, it can take weeks into months for forensic testing to come back. So it fits the timeline that back in mid-June, they did that there at that apartment. They took all of that evidence and they've got those results back. That's what it says to me. And they've gone a little bit further and said that Harmony was murdered in December 2019. So they've specified a month. So it's exactly 2 years. She was declared missing in December 2021, and she was murdered 2 years previously. It's a shame that they didn't do a Q&A. I would have liked to have seen what questions the media had. I think sometimes hearing the questions from the media is as insightful as the answers, to be honest. And I don't know about you, but I get a gauge for what's going on in the investigation by the way that they answer questions and the questions that they won't answer or can't answer at the time. So the only remaining question for me is there an arrest going to be made? So they said person or persons responsible. So I'm wondering, I mean, for me, there's only 2 people who had access to Harmony, who were living with Harmony at the time she was murdered. And that is Adam and Kayla Montgomery. So are we going to see an arrest? Are they building the case? No, they've declared this a homicide investigation. And if what I'm saying is correct, that reading between the lines, they found biological evidence in that apartment, They know that's where Harmony was living when she was murdered. Or her body was stored there. Because didn't they move? I'm trying to remember the timeline. Should have checked on this before I came live, but didn't they move from their other address after Harmony went missing? I don't know. I'll have to check on that. So if they found biological evidence in an apartment where Harmony was already missing when they moved there, they took her body there. Now we're in the realms of speculation there, so I'll kind of stop that. But it begs the question. Why did they take that fridge out? Why did they take that fridge out? Adam is in jail. Yes, Adam is in jail on abuse charges. So whether that will be upgraded now to a murder charge, hopefully it will, because I can't see that there's any other suspects involved. In my opinion, they're now building that case. Kayla was released. She was charged with collecting food stamps or child support for Harmony. And in my opinion, the only reason why they wanted custody of Harmony was to basically get money for her, get food stamps or child support or whatever for her. I don't know that there was a fire. I do remember that there was reports. I remember reporting on this in June, that when they moved from I think it was Guildford Road, the Guildford Road address, Adam went back there and opened like all the windows. I don't know whether that would be to get rid of a smell. I don't know. I mean, there's been cases before where parents have murdered a child and kept that child's body in the property. And it's only when those parents have moved from that property that people start asking questions. So there was one case. Oh, it's horrible. They put the baby that died. They kind of put it in a wall, like wrapped the baby up in plastic, and then put the baby in a wall. I mean, it's just evil walks among us. I was watching the comments flying up as I was listening to the press conference, and evil truly does walk among us. There are some absolute, complete and total monsters in this world. There really is. It really is. That's right. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they got evicted from that apartment. They were squatting at a place with no electricity and then moved to the place with the fridge was removed, I believe. I do remember that, yeah. And they got evicted from that place and they were living in a vehicle. Or they were living in two vehicles or something. So the police have got a good timeline of where Adam and Kayla were throughout the 2 years. That, thank you so much. Cecile, thank you. Very kind of you for the $19.99. Is it $19.99? I've lost it now. I've lost it now. Dear me. Yeah, $19.99. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. I guess, I guess what goes through the minds of these people is that as long as the body is in the property, that body can never be discovered. So they get into all sorts of problems when they have to leave that property because it leaves behind evidence. We don't know where Harmony was murdered. We know a month, or at least what the police think, the month Harmony was murdered. So given that the police have a good timeline of where Adam and Kayla moved to and were evicted from, that might give them some leads into where a body might be. But they've had 2 years. They've had 2 years to decide what to do with Harmony's body. And it sounds brutal, absolutely brutal, but we don't know that when Harmony left that apartment for the final time, that she was in one piece. So her body may never be discovered. And that's horrible to say. It feels disgusting to even say those words. But these are the realities. These are the realities, that her body may never be recovered. So I think, in my opinion, they're building a case, but because there's no body, that case has to be watertight. We know that, in no-body homicides, when charges are brought, how easy it is for that case to fall apart. We've only got, the Barry Morphew case to draw on from quite recently, that case fell apart. So for justice, for true justice for Harmony Montgomery, I would rather them spend longer building a case than rush with an arrest, because once an arrest is made and charges are brought, then the timer is ticking. Because once those charges are brought, then the defense is entitled to have every single scrap of evidence that the prosecutors, that the police, that the investigation has amassed. While they're building that case, and they're making that case as watertight as it can be, and if they've got biological evidence, then that's good. That's good. Depends on the nature of that evidence. Depends on the nature of that evidence. Because if Harmony never lived in that apartment, and I'm kicking myself and not checking this out, if Harmony never lived in that apartment and there is Harmony's DNA, body fluids, then that is very strong evidence, very strong forensic evidence that something very, very bad happened to Harmony, even before Adam and Kayla moved to that apartment. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Johnny. I mean, it's just horrible. But she's such a little girl. She was such a little girl. And it's not like, lugging out a 5'6" man that weighed 300 pounds. This is a little girl who was probably 40, 50 pounds. Tiny little girl. So removing a body of that size is not difficult. It's not going to raise suspicion, especially if they're moving and they're carrying out stuff, you know, people just think they're moving. She was 5. She was 5 when she, well, when she was murdered. She would have been 8. She would have been 8 now. So, same, yeah, I would imagine about the same size as Summer Wells. Yeah, tiny little girl. And, you know, if that body's been lying there for a while and they've had the opportunity to take that body, it's horrible, I don't want to say it, but take that body apart, and maybe that's where the biological evidence has come from, then it would take it would be of absolutely no issue to get that body out with nobody seeing, and them disposing of her in probably, maybe, perhaps more than one location. I know. And I just go back to the fact that Harmony's little brother has to live with this for the rest of his life, knowing that his sister could have grown up with him. That's the thing that I keep going back to in my mind. Every time I think about this case, I think that this could have been so different for Harmony and her mother. I do have sympathy for Crystal. I really do have sympathy for Crystal. It could have been so different for her. And I think people have to pay for the decisions that they've made. And I think there needs to be a full and very thorough investigation into exactly what went wrong and all the decisions that were made to place Harmony in harm's way and not allow that family to adopt Harmony in favour of her father, her dangerous, criminal father, with family members knowing that he was abusing her, that a family member said they saw him punch her across a room. I mean, what on earth? What on earth? He's younger than Harmony, so he's a little boy at the moment. So, you know, he probably doesn't know very much at the moment, but when he gets older, I hope he honours his sister and honours her memory. And I can't imagine. You know, I'm sure he'll experience survivor guilt. So there's victims upon victims here. I mean, obviously, you know, Harmony's front and center, and the justice process needs to do everything it possibly can in every way it can to bring the people who murdered her to justice, but also to ensure that this does not happen again. And I know it will happen again. It will happen again, but this can't keep happening. It's wrong. It can't keep happening. So many people could have stepped in and saved that little girl. And every one of those decisions needs to be thoroughly investigated, in my opinion. I don't know. I hope so. But I think some people are just truly monsters, and they'll justify it. They'll justify it in some way to themselves. You know, to cope with it psychologically, they'll justify it to themselves. There's no justification. There's no excuse. You know, even if this was Adam, let's say, just for an example, allegedly, Adam punched her across a room and she died. Well, Adam needs to come clean. And the police chief there said, you know, somebody knows something, somebody knows more. And the people who know more are Adam and Kayla Montgomery. So build the case, arrest them both, and see what comes of it. But I'd rather them, as I said before, I'd rather them wait and have a watertight case that a defence can't wriggle them out of. That's my opinion. It is. It's heartbreaking. It really is. It really is. Yeah, it is. I think he's got a good family. He'll have a good support network. You know, he'll get all the therapy he needs as and when he needs it. But still, you know, it's this horrible, disgusting thing to have happened to Harmony is also part of his story. It's also part of his life. And there's no getting away from that for that young man when he grows up. Exactly. I don't understand. I don't understand why the decision was made that just because Harmony has a father who is in some way involved in her life, you know, in some small way involved in her life, what gives him the right to full custody of her, given his past, when the brother is placed with another family. I'm assuming, and I don't know this for 100%, I'm assuming that the little boy has a different dad, and that's why he wasn't placed with Adam. I'm assuming that. I don't know that as a fact, though. But that would kind of make sense as to why Harmony was given to her dad, whilst the little boy didn't have anywhere to go, so he was adopted. Yeah, there's always everybody involved in this case in some way is a victim of these decisions. A little brother as he grows up. Even Crystal, I do have some sympathy for her. My sympathy is there, but I also have the you didn't do enough kind of thing. But I can have that sympathy knowing how she might feel now and the regrets she might have, because she's got to live with this as well. Yeah, and they wanted Harmony. They wanted to take Harmony as well. I know he is. Cody's still missing. I did an update on Cody the other day on this channel. Only a short update, but I did an update on Cody's case. I also did an update on Lena's case as well, Lena Keel. I did an update on her case from San Antonio. Because her case is that, according to law enforcement, the tips are drying up in Lena's case. And once those tips dry up, then it becomes a cold case, and Lena's gone, and Lena stays gone, and no one's looking for her. So many of these children have failed. And just reading your comments, it's just really sad. Really sad. Harmony, no, they've not found a body. Just for those coming in, you know, go and rewind and listen to the press conference. But just to quickly summarize, and I'm going to get off here. I want to go and listen to what JB Buno has to say. I like WFLA since I've been watching WFLA since the Gabby Petito case. Whenever Hey JB goes live, I go and watch him. I don't care what he's talking about. I kind of like him. He's funny. But no, they haven't found Harmony's body. They've got biological evidence, and they've now declared Harmony's case a homicide investigation as opposed to a missing child case. So that's a big leap. It's not unexpected. It's not a surprise. In my opinion, they've called this press conference today because they've got results of the raid of the apartment that happened back in mid-June. It's just kind of about the time scale. You know, forensic evidence tends to take 6 weeks or so to come back, 4 to 6 weeks. Depends on the nature of the evidence, but it does take a while to come back. And, you know, DNA testing and things like that. So I think they've got DNA, I think they've got evidence, bodily fluids of Harmony's there. That's not what they said. This is my opinion. I'll stress that again. This is my opinion. But they did say homicide. They believe she was murdered in December 2019, so a full 2 years after before she was reported missing. And they've got biological evidence. No arrest as of yet. They're appealing for people to come forward. If anybody knows anything who hasn't come forward before, they need to come forward now. But in my opinion, the only two people who know what truly happened are Adam and Michaela Montgomery. Those are the only two people that had custody of Harmony who know exactly what happened, in my opinion. But I would rather them take longer, rather than make an arrest or arrests now and a defence having to have every single piece of evidence that they can rip apart. In a no-body homicide, it's vital for them to get all their ducks in a row, for it to be a watertight case so that justice can be served and it doesn't fall apart like Barry Morphew's case did. Yeah, different father. I thought so. I thought that's why they'd have separated the families. But still, Harmony had a little brother. You know, keeping a family together is one thing, but putting her with a dangerous father as opposed to her little brother is crazy. I've been following Cody's case since the beginning. I've got a playlist for Cory. Got a whole playlist. I've got all the press conferences. I did an update on Cory just the other day. Show you. I don't know which channel my playlist is on for Cory. Oh, here it is.
I was recommended by a friend.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to just show you the playlist. I don't want to play videos. View full playlist. Here we go. Just quickly share this, just to show you that I've been following Cody's case since day one, since the day he went missing. So I do the videos on this channel, Michelle Walks, but the playlist is actually on MichelleAfterDark. It's confusing, but there we go. So press conferences, updates. I've got interviews with Cory Bigsby's sister on here. Timeline. And then there was a big lull, like kind of nothing happened for ages. But I did an update, just 9-minute update the other day, just on where they are with, you know, Cody's still missing, but Cory is in jail facing what is it, something like 160 years in jail for child abuse and neglect charges, but not connected to the disappearance of Cory. But there's some civil rights concerns because they took him in. I talk about this in the video, but there's civil rights concerns because he was held and requested a lawyer on more than one occasion and was denied a lawyer. So it's been, that case has been bungled from day one. From day one, it's been bungled. Unfortunately, yet again, another case. Thank you so much for the $9.99. Eudora's Mama's Garden. That's a great name. Sweeping changes needed in custody and guardianship guidelines. Thanks for streaming, Michelle. So sad about Cody. I know. Father couldn't cope. I believe that. Yeah. Yeah. That, you know, his family spoke out. And I've got a clip in that video, this video here. This video here. I've got a clip from the family. The family did a long press conference. And they're more concerned about Cory being in jail than Cody disappearing. And yeah, things did go wrong. Things did go wrong. Thank you, Amanda. Things did go wrong from the outset. But Cory was leaving the kids alone. He had 4 kids under the age of 5. Cody was 4 when he disappeared. There was a sibling who was a year older than him, and then twins who were only 2. And Cory was leaving them home alone because he couldn't cope, taking them all out. And the family lived like hours away. And had admitted in this press conference that they had not seen him for like 2 years or something. And Cody's mother is living in a different state. So, you know, let's get the world's smallest violin out for Cory. I mean, seriously, I think he was really struggling, coping. But Cody's missing, and where is Cody? You know. But thank you, Amanda. Let me read this comment. Get the impression they know that someone out there also knows. My heart goes out to her mum as she was trying to get better, the CPS of many questions to answer. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more, Amanda. Could not agree more. So yeah, if you want to go and look at my coverage of Cory Bigsby, I've also got, who else do I cover? Let me have a look. Who else I cover? Let's have a look while I'm here. This is Michelle After Dark. So I've got Lena Keel, Michael Vaughan, Serenity McKinney. Who else have I got? Playlists. Dylan Rounds, Kylan and Crystal, Lily Peters. That's just a small playlist. Chloe Smith. Oh, Cleo Smith. I always call her Chloe. Gabby. Barry. Only a handful of videos in there. And then on this channel, Michelle Walks. What have I got? I've got more playlists on this channel as well. Let's have a look. I'm not sharing anymore, am I? Dear me. Got Crime Stories Sunday, if you're interested in historical cases. Got the Where Is series, where I do little kind of publicity things. Not done one of them for a while. They were, that little family there were unfortunately found all deceased. Got disturbing UK crime. So they're just crime stories. I need to update that. I've not done one of them for ages either. What else have I got? Oh, I've got Cody on this one as well. I've got my granddaughter cooking on this one. Got an ethical psychology. Those are from the old days of this channel. So most of my crime playlists are over on Michelle After Dark. But I do a lot of content on this channel as well. Usually things like, you know, updates, awareness raising, that kind of thing, and crime stories on this channel. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and go and check out some of my other playlists. Everybody thinks I'm just a Summer Wells channel, and I'm not. I'm not just a Summer Wells channel. I cover a wide range of cases and stories, and yeah, I've lost count of how many cases I'm actually watching on a frequent basis. You know, I do my rounds every day, like checking to see if there's any updates on every case that I'm following. And usually there isn't, and then I'm sad. Thank you so much. Got another super chat here. Yeah. Anyway, to know whether Cody's siblings were placed with the family members who rarely visited them. No, as I understand it, they're in foster care. As I understand it. That came from one of the very early press conferences. The police chief said that they were being cared for in foster care. So I assume that they're still in foster care and not with the family. I haven't heard anything otherwise, but obviously these are very small children, so they're not gonna, you know, they're not gonna give updates on things like that. But that's my understanding, that they're not with the family, they're in foster care. It can be really depressing, but then again, you know, just occasionally you get just some fantastic news that somebody's been found. I mean, Cleo Smith, you know, the little gorgeous little girl from Australia last year, and she was found. So it was something like 18 days. I mean, that was astonishing. That was astonishing. But yeah, sadly, when a kid goes missing for more than a few hours, you know, that it's not looking good. But what I don't understand is why the vast majority of cases just don't get covered. And I kind of understand that cases go through like long periods of a lull, so it's difficult to make videos. Like with Harmony's case, right? You know, once she was declared missing, it went, and Adam and Kayla were in jail, it went through a massive lull. So what was there to report on? Cory's went through a lull. Lena Keels is currently in a lull. So it's difficult to make videos. Whereas when there's drama, like in Summer's case, it's easy to make videos because there's someone speaking out or somebody making some nonsense up, or, you know, some debunking needed. It's easy to make. I could easily make 2 videos a day on Summer, easily, just based on things people have said. But at the same time, it's as important, if not more so at the moment, to raise awareness for the multitude of other cases that need attention. You know, at the moment, I'm covering, as I said right at the beginning of this, I'm covering 16-year-old Kylie Rodney from Truckee, Northern California. Made a couple of videos now. So I've got some really big concerns about that case. And she's not even been missing a week yet. And I've got red flags left, right, and centre. Left, right, and centre about that case. So I'm following that. And then Dylan Rounds, that's gone into a little bit of a lull now that Jim Brenner's in jail. Chase is in jail. So following that. Aidan Clune is another one that I'm following. Oh, so many. And then there's ones that I know about, but I've just not had the brain space to really dig deep into them. But there's so many more cases that need awareness raising. You know, I was following a case in my own county here in the UK. A young woman went missing, but unfortunately she was found, and she was murdered. And it's her ex-boyfriend's in jail awaiting trial. So I'll pick that case up when it goes to trial. I believe his trial is in November, I believe. But in the UK, we don't get the same amount of updates as you get in the US system. I don't know why. I don't know why, but that's just the way that the UK system works. So anyway, guys, I'm just kind of waffling now. So many of them, Amanda, many of them. I try. And it's not just kids either, you know, it's adults as well. You know, Dylan, young adult, his whole life ahead of him, and what's happened to Dylan? Aidan Clune, another one, whole life ahead of him. Where is he? And we just have to live in hope, don't we? In true crime, we have to live in hope that we get those wins, we get those astonishing moments when someone is found, like with Cleo Smith, and we get true justice. So anyway, I'm going to call it a day here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to be on the replay crew now and go and listen to WFLA and go and see what Hey JB had to say. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending an hour with me. And thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. Always very welcome. Leave a like on the stream before you leave if you've not done so already. It does help with the algorithm and things. So, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye, guys.